Hey there, CG Math students. Welcome to classwork homework 8.7, measuring data with box plots. When you finish your video, make sure you write your score here. Also to know, if you go back and notice in your Edpuzzle that you haven't gotten a score for a video yet, make sure you do so by the end of the week. So I'll be giving grades on your classwork averages for those videos by the end of the week. Practice homework calculators are okay. So a box plot measures data distribution using 5 key numbers. Those 5 key numbers are the minimum, the median, the maximum, which we probably already know about, and then quarter 1 and quarter 3, which we're going to figure out today. So first thing you always have to make sure of is that your data is in order. So luckily this ordered set here, absolutely in order. So find your minimum. That's your smallest number. In this case it is 10. Right there, smallest number. Find your maximum, that's your largest number. In this case, it is 30, right? Next, you're going to want to find your median. So we've done this before. The easiest thing to do is just go through the list, figure out how many numbers you have. Remember, if you have an odd amount of numbers, there will be 1 number in the center. And if you have an even amount of numbers, there will be 2 numbers in the center. And you add up and divide by 2. So in this case, we have 13 numbers. So that means we have an odd amount of numbers with 1 number in the center. So if you're just thinking, all right, well, 13 divided by 2, that's going to be 6.5. That means you can cross off 6 on each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So your median in this case is 18. All right, so we figured out our first 3 numbers. Next comes a little bit more difficult part. Your quarter 1 and your quarter 3 are going to act as the median of the first part of your data and the after part of your data. So before the median and after the median. So if you'll draw kind of 2 brackets here, right before the median, so all these numbers before the median, and then right after the median. So notice that your median kind of gets isolated, right? So now we have a big chunk in front of your median and your big chunk behind your median. So this is your quarter 1 and your quarter 3. So now we just find the actual median of this set. So think about it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 numbers, which means if I quickly erase this, I'm going to have 2 numbers in the center. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So my 2 numbers in the center are 13. Obviously that makes your quarter 1 13, but you could also just say, all right, 13 plus 13 divided by 2, just to prove it mathematically, is 13. So your quarter 1 is 13. And then you could erase these guys that you've done on the other side and do the same thing. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 2 numbers in the middle, so 24 plus 25 divided by 2 gives you 24.5. So that's your quarter 3. So now we have all 5 numbers for our box plot. All right, just to recall again, how did we get quarter 1 and quarter 3? We found the median of the first half and the median of the second half of our data. So now we want to create a box plot. This is going to be an actual kind of graph that you can read. And be sure to use an appropriate scale with even intervals. So if my minimum is 10 and my maximum is 30, probably best to use a scale of, like, say 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, right? Probably could have used a little bit more space on this overall graph. Yeah, so let's erase and spread it out and even take this up to 35. So a little bit before and after my min and maximum. All right, first thing you're going to want to do is put a dot on your minimum. So here's your minimum. You can put a dot right above 10, right? And make sure you put it above it. Then you find your maximum, okay? Put a dot above 30, all right? All right, so write this down. Your minimum and your maximum are going to both be dots, right? Now, your quarter 1 and your quarter 3 are both going to be lines. So write that down, line, line. So at 13, which would be halfway between 10 and 15, you're going to put a big old line right there. And at 24.5, which is right in front of 25, you're going to put a big old line right there. And finally, also your median is going to be a line. So at 18, which is close to 20, you're going to put a line right there. You're going to connect the lines, hence you have your box. And then you're going to extend out lines to your dots, hence you have your box and whisker plot, right? So again, if you review this box plot, you'll notice again, you've got your mean, your quarter one, your median, your quarter three, your maximum. You'll see that a majority of your data points lie within the box. Smaller box plots will show less variability, meaning fewer different data points. Larger box plots will show a lot more variability. And a box plot is simply helpful for summarizing data. It does not show how many pieces of data there are, so you're not going to be able to get a mean out of that or anything like that. So real quickly, we're going to do number one. First, make sure all the data is in order. Luckily, it is in order, so our minimum is easy to figure out. It's our first number. Our maximum is easy to figure out. It's our last number. Our median is easy to figure out. We have 7 numbers, an odd amount of numbers, so I can say 1, 2, 3, goodbye, and 1, 2, 3, goodbye. So our median is 38. Right, the quarter one and quarter three, that's the tricky part. Quarter one, you draw a bracket around those 3 numbers. Quarter three, you draw a bracket around those 3 numbers. And then you find the median of the bracket, of the first bracket. So notice we had 3 numbers, so it's just 34 and 37 get crossed off. So 35 is your quarter one. And then you find the median of your second bracket. 43 numbers again, 42 and 49 get crossed off. So 45 is your quarter three. So let's draw a box plot. First, create your scale. I did it by 2s. You always want a number a little bit lower than your minimum and a number a little bit higher than your maximum. Next, go ahead and you plot your maximums and your minimums, so 49 and 34. So for our minimum, a dot right above 34. For our maximum, a dot right in between 48 and 49, because that's where 50, that's where 49 would lie. Go ahead and plot your quarter one and your quarter threes. So a line at 35 and a line at 45. Finally, plot your median, a line at 38, and then connect everything. Draw that box, hopefully a little bit better than mine. Use your ruler, and then draw your whiskers. And there you go. You'll notice we have a lot more variability in this data set. You got a whole bunch of numbers outside or above the median and a whole bunch less, right? So number 2, I'm going to ask you to do an Edpuzzle. Make sure that you order the numbers first. So I helped you out there by ordering them. Find your minimum, your maximum. Notice that you have 13 numbers, so you should be crossing off 6 on this side, 6 on this side. You'll have 1 number in the middle for your median. Then find your median of your first 6 numbers, which means you'll have to add 2 numbers together, divide by 2. That's your quarter one. Find your median of your second 6 numbers, add 2 numbers together again, divide by 2. That's your quarter three. So you should have had these 5 numbers for those answers in Edpuzzle. Now you just draw your box plot. Go ahead and create your scale. We've got a minimum of 6, a maximum of 19. Probably best to go by 2s. Remember, a number below and a number above. And then just draw your box plot. So the minimum at 6, the maximum at 19, quarter one at 9, quarter three at 10, and then your median at 11. Right? Connect your 3 lines for your box. And then extend out whiskers. And there's your box plot. Finally, in number 3, reading these graphs should be even easier. You're just going to use this diagram right here. Every line basically indicates something. So your minimum in this case, 65. It was the very first dot right out here, right? Your maximum in this case is 80. Just make sure it falls all the way down. Your quarter one in this case, this very first line, so 66, 67, 68. Your quarter two, your median is, if that's 70, that means that's 71. Your quarter three, if that's 75, 76, 77. Your IQR is just basically quarter three minus quarter one. That's how you find out all this space inside the box. So you're just going to go ahead and say 77 minus 68. So your IQR in this case is going to be 9. And your range is simply your max minus your minimum, just like we would do with normal data, right? So 80 minus 65, and in this case, your range is 15. That's how you do it. Your homework, exactly like the problems on your front. Best of luck. Get started on it. Call me if you have questions.